Atomic Monsoon.
Welcome to the Monsoon. Hello and welcome to Atomic Monsoon.
Monsoon!
Now I'm deaf.
I just like yelling.
Also, I'm back again. Yay!
Hey, Stephanie's here.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of deaf,
Yeah.
our intro.
By Def M Records?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I really like that segue. Good job. High five.
Hey, I'm the one who said I was
High
deaf.
five.
Okay.
Right. Hey, yeah, you should go to defmrecords.com and go find some new music because they're great and they would like to have your love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good music too.
Yeah.
So go check it out.
Spread the
Definitely.
love.
Yeah.
And share it if you can. If you get on there and you find something you like, share it,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
We
And you know
have the technology.
Yes.
You sure do. Yeah, you can and tag us while you're there. You go hit us up
Let
at
them know
Atomic
that you
Monsoon
found
or
through us and
Atomic_Monsoon on Instagram or just Atomic Monsoon on Facebook. Speaking of which, I got
share
some
the love
answers.
everywhere, man. Share
You
the
got
love
some
everywhere.
answers?
I got some answers to our question from last
Oh
week.
yes. Yes.
Which is better, Super Mario Brothers or Street Fighter, the
Yeah.
1993 Mario movie or the 94 Street Fighter movie?
Oh, dear.
It's split down the middle.
What?
Yeah. Half the people that responded said Mario Brothers, and the other half said Street Fighter.
Really?
Yeah. There was one that was kind of I don't really know which way to go on this. Raul Julia was acting his ass off in Street Fighter.
And he was, man.
He
was
absolutely was.
He made that movie. If it
Yeah.
wasn't for him, that movie would not have been watchable.
I kind of forgot about this, so let me pull it up real quick. But it was Raul Julia was acting his ass off, but.
Please hold.
John Leguizamo pulls off being an Italian brother, hard to choose. And I was like, yeah, that's why we're asking that. He said, all right, fine, Mario Brothers, because it's the version of Mario Brothers wherein the details of plot and overall design are based upon the rantings of a homeless man who once saw Mario Brothers being played in a store window.
Random fact?
Yeah. One guy said he's partial to Super Mario Brothers because it came out on his birthday. And then a couple that were just for Street Fighter. Oh, we got another one, actually. So Street Fighter wins by 1 vote.
Oh, Street Fighter.
Yeah, none of the
This
people.
just in.
None of the people who picked Street Fighter gave a reason, but it got more votes. So
Interesting.
Yeah. So there you go. Officially the Atomic
Mario
Monsoon
movie was
listeners.
kind of like somebody intercepted a transmission of an Alex Jones show from the future, and they're like, "Yeah, lizard people from another dimension."
Right.
Mario Brothers. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. There's lizards in Mario, right?
Yeah.
There's things with the shells. Those are lizards, right?
Exactly.
Wrong.
Mushroom Kingdom. There's fungus. Go.
Yeah. Yeah.
My Yoshi impression.
Yeah.
Gotta do.
Yeah.
There
It's
you
pretty
go.
good.
Yeah, actually, it was. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
We didn't have to hit you on the back of the head to get you to say it either.
No, yeah. It's so sad when you analyze the Mario World sprite and you realize every time Yoshi sticks his tongue out, it's because Mario punches him in the back of the head.
Rude.
Yeah. Mario is not a nice guy to Yoshi.
How are you going to communicate
What,
with
the
dinosaur?
jerk?
I mean, you could pat him nicely,
There, Yoshi. There.
or just say something, right? Like, tongue.
It's a dinosaur.
Phrasing.
He speaks.
Well, we didn't know that, though, when the game came out.
The first time you break the egg, he's like, hey, my name's Yoshi. I've been kidnapped by Bowser. You should save me and my
No,
friends.
see, I always kind of thought, I was like, oh, here's a note.
Oh, see, I just assumed he was talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Yeah.
Interpretation.
Wow. Hey, speaking of video games,
Okay.
Okay.
PAX East was last week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. I saw that my favorite YouTubers were there, like Jacksepticeye and Markiplier.
Oh, excellent. Did they have anything interesting to say?
I didn't watch their panels yet on YouTube.
Okay. Fair enough.
I've had a busy week. I have not had the chance to sit down and watch that.
That's fair.
So-
That's
All I'm
fair.
hearing right now are excuses. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I mean, we also
you have a life.
Wait, hold
That's
on.
an excuse.
Oh, wait. Well, no, but in fairness, Stephanie's Winter Guard team won some medals.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Yeah, let us know how this all went.
So, just to kind of take it off PAX for a moment.
Yeah.
Last weekend, which you guys know I was not here again. That is because for the past 3 months, I have been coaching as a color guard instructor with 2 local high schools in Arizona. And last weekend was state championships, which was for the first time ever 2 full days here for Winter Guard, Arizona. Wow. And both my teams placed. One of my guards took 3rd and the other one took 2nd.
Nice.
Yes. So
congratulations.
Yay!
Wow.
Everyone sends Stephanie.
So is that
Yay.
awkward when your 2 teams are competing against each other?
No, they were in different divisions.
Oh, okay.
Right, because one was varsity, one was junior varsity, right?
No, one of the schools had a JV and a varsity.
Oh, I see.
I was helping with the JV.
Okay.
But no, they were in two different divisions because one was independent, one was scholastic.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But,
well, hey, congratulations to both your teams.
Golf club.
And to you. Good job training them
Thank
to
you.
take second and third, respectively, in their divisions. That's
Yes,
awesome.
there's more. Obviously, they have more to go, and I'm going to be working with them next year, so that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Also, just because we're on the guard and band tangent,
Sure.
this weekend, since Wednesday actually, is Winter Guard International Color Guard Championships.
Okay.
So
That was a mouthful.
it is a mouthful, so that's why they say WGI Championships.
Okay, yeah, that's way easier.
There's a lot of groups from all around the world that go and compete there. So best of luck to all of them, and of course best of luck to the 3 Arizona schools that are competing: Desert Vista, Mountain Ridge, and Phoenix Independent.
Is it being televised at all, or like is it like ESPN, the Ocho, or anything? Or?
It's on flowmarching.com, and you have to pay like $12.50 to watch.
Okay.
So
And there's no 30-day trial or anything on that?
Nope.
No.
Well, that's not bad then. If you want to watch it, it's available for you. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
you could go
Yeah,
check
so
it
if
out
you
and support
can't
it.
make it, or got a family member or something, you can still see it. That's neat. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, it's in
I
Dayton,
got a
Ohio.
couple younger cousins that are in college right now playing baseball and softball, respectively, and it's frustrating because they live very far away, so I can't go watch them play or anything.
Yeah.
When their games are on anywhere where you can see it, it's usually just like a stat play-by-play on an internet picker. Yeah, it's just kind of like, man.
Yep.
So that's cool that they're actually televising it enough or broadcasting
Streaming
it so
it,
you can actually see it. That's really neat.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
really cool. I watched it last year. I haven't had the chance to watch it this year because I didn't pay the $12.50. So, but good luck to all the groups competing this weekend.
Yeah,
Yay!
yeah.
Of course, it'll be Sunday by the time this airs.
That's right. People can probably download it tonight, which is Friday the 5th?
Fifth.
5th, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, by that point, it'll be done.
I don't know.
It ends tomorrow.
I'm trying.
It's okay. It's okay. You're good. So, anyway.
Hey, so since today's the 5th, that means the Borderland stuff you talked about last week should be available now, right?
Yes, actually, I was playing last night the Borderlands Game of the Year Edition remaster.
Excellent.
That was available on for free if you have PC and you own the original Borderlands. It's a free update.
That's really cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not a free update for the 360 or for the Xbox or the PS4.
Okay.
But it's only $30.
Oh, okay.
And it's well more than $30 worth of value.
Sure, yeah.
Especially if you've never played it before.
Right.
If you have played it before, though, it does have value as well. I haven't gotten too far into it because I've only been had it for a day to be able to play it.
Sure, right.
But did get a few hours in with it last night, and I've played to death the original one more times than I can possibly count. And they improved things. The visuals, definitely, you can see a definite improvement on it. It is still the original graphics, but it is definitely fine-tuned and upgraded for the newer consoles and HD. They tightened up some of the controls, some of the glitches, a few things. They added more loot to it.
Okay.
Just a lot of general improvements on the game so far.
Excellent.
Give you a little bit more
Nice.
replayability on it and things like that. So it's definitely if you like Borderlands, looter shooters, if you're a fan of Diablo and feel like, hey, I kind of like Diablo, I kind of like Call of Duty or Quake, go play some Borderlands.
Okay.
And you'll enjoy it.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
nice.
I want to get better about following up on things we talk about.
Yeah,
This was a good reason to do it, or a good excuse to do it.
Anyway, we're talking about PAX.
Yeah, so that was the thing that was announced at PAX last week,
Yeah,
and then we
that was
talked
the
about it right
information
away.
we had so far.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
The disaster show that Gearbox had.
Yeah, and so I went through and found the things that I was interested in.
Yeah.
Because, I tend to be more of a, as the kids are calling it, a retro gamer. So I tend to like stuff that's 2D and side-scrolling and blah, blah, blah. So I looked through the stuff and I was like, all right, this looks kind of neat. Koji Igarashi's new game, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, should be coming out later this year. Igarashi, you would probably know best as one of the designers on Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Okay.
And kind of turned Metroidvania into a game style, right? Because obviously Super Metroid had already existed when Symphony of the Night came out, but that game is what gave the Vania part of Metroidvania. So he's, free from the shackles of Konami and can do his own thing, and the game got funded on Kickstarter a couple years ago. Should be finally coming out, being published by 505 Games later this year.
Nice.
And there was they did a like a straight up sprite based 2D one that looked like an 8-bit Castlevania game last year, I want to say, and that was a lot of fun too. So if we're going from old school Castlevania to Symphony of the Night style with the Bloodstained franchise, cool, right? Like if that game was solid and it felt like a new version of an old Castlevania game. So, hopefully Ritual of the Night.
I have that on my list of back catalog stuff. I still need to play that.
Yeah. It's fun.
I love
really enjoyed it.
The Metroidvania style, like Castlevania of the Night.
Yeah.
No, Symphony of the Night is one of my all-time favorites. Sorry.
Yeah. So the
Symphony of the Night. Castlevania.
I forget what the other Bloodstained game was called, but the first one, it's more just linear side scroller.
Yeah.
Like Castlevania 1 and 3,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So like, okay, cool.
Still an excellent game, though.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Super Castlevania, fantastic game.
Yeah.
It's just a straight side scroller.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's see. Otherwise, the last bit of Shovel Knight DLC got announced. That should be coming out here in April, so in the next couple weeks.
Shovel Knight.
Yes.
Infinidagger.
Thank you.
Sorry, I watched the Game Grumps.
Yeah. So King of Cards is going to be the last DLC. You get to play as the King Knight. They're adding 4 new worlds, and the description from the show floor was King Knight is built like a walking tank. So,
Okay.
Big,
Interesting.
heavy, slow, but powerful. So that was kind of cool. And then also Shovel Knight Showdown got announced, which is a Smash Brothers-esque 4-player 2D sprite, fighting game.
Nice.
Right?
Cool.
So imagine Shovel Knight, but Smash Brothers,
Yeah.
right? Or Smash Brothers, but Shovel Knight.
I dig it.
Okay.
Yeah. They said there'd be a bunch of stages and items for it, and up to 4 players in a fight. So, Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Let's see, what else is going on? The Messenger is a Ninja Gaiden style game that came out last year, and they're doing a DLC for it called Picnic Panic. It is going to be free DLC to anyone that already owns the game.
That sounds like that doesn't mix very well. A Ninja Gaiden style game, DLC called Picnic Panic.
Yeah.
Not Throwing Star Extravaganza?
No.
Is this like a Bad Fur Day type of game? Like, where it's just completely absurd?
I'm going to be honest, I hadn't heard of the game until I was looking through, and I was like, what is this 8-bit looking ninja game?
Oh, okay.
And,
it's a retro style.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay,
And I was
cool.
like, okay, this looks kind of cool. And then I came home, my roommate was playing the base game randomly one day, and I was like, oh, okay, but I haven't spent, it was just kind of, I was in and out, so I only got to see a couple minutes of it. But hey, if you like 8-bit Ninja Gaiden, right? Like, if you like old NES Ninja Gaiden stuff.
Man, that game was so freaking hard.
Yeah, well, there's that. So, speaking of really hard Nintendo games, one of the thing that caught my eye in the Picnic Panic and why I wrote it down, there is going to be an auto-scrolling surfing level that is quote-unquote reminiscent of the Turbo Tunnel in Battletoads.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
We were talking about that recently.
It was last week.
Yeah. That's rough, man. It's rough.
I'm really excited for that.
This is a little off topic, but actually this kind of segues into something that's actually a topic right now going on a lot online right now.
Okay.
Is the difficulty of video games. There's a game out right now, and I am going to butcher the pronunciation of this because I have never heard it pronounced, so I'm just going off of guessing. I think it's like Sekiro, something to that event. It's a Dark Souls style game.
Okay.
Samurai guy going around, just one of those very difficult games.
Yep.
There were some video game journalists that put out a couple articles about how they needed to make games more accessible and trying to push this accessibility on it.
Sure.
And they framed it in a mode of making it easier for those with disabilities. And then a lot of people with disabilities came out and were like, hey, wait a minute.
Don't fight our battle for us.
Yeah, they're saying hey, if you want an easy mode, just say you want an easy mode. Don't try to say hey, us people with disabilities need an easy mode.
Right.
That's not right. You get this guy he's only got a couple fingers on each hand, and he's controller in his lap, and he's beating the crap out of these games.
Yeah.
And so it's just people posting that like crazy, and it just the whole topic of easy mode, should games add an easy mode?
Sure.
Is it are these journalists asking developers hey, you guys need to put in easier modes? Is it should they be doing that? What are your guys' thoughts on this? Because it's when you have a game that's like a Dark Souls style game where those are made to be difficult.
Right. The intent of that is to be
brutal. The whole point of that
brutal.
game is to be brutal.
Yeah.
Should they put an easy mode into a game like that?
Stephanie, what do you think? Because I have an answer for this.
Okay.
So, I will be honest here. I actually play a lot of my games on either easy or normal mode, depending on the game. Like, if it's a game where I know I can go in and I can do a good job, and it's not going to be that difficult for me, I'll probably put it on normal mode because I don't want my ass handed to me on a silver platter.
Sure.
But if it's a game where even normal mode is extremely difficult, I will put it on easy mode. But that's just me, a person who doesn't play as many video games.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm more in it for the enjoyment of the story and things like that than I am for the level of difficulty, because I've watched enough video gamers on YouTube to know rage quitting when I see it. Sure. And I get ragey at games that are even in easy and normal mode. So it's
funny,
the thing
when I was a kid, we didn't call it rage quitting because usually people would end up like tossing their controller or something.
Right, yeah.
We always call it, either a controller fatality or a failed controller fatality.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm sort of on the fence about this, right? Because on one hand, I like a good challenge in my video games. On the other hand, sometimes it's hard to tell if the game is hard because it was designed to be hard or because it's a bad game. Right? There are some games where like it's just badly designed.
Yeah.
And so the challenge isn't because like Capcom is really good about you play through a Mega Man game and you're like, cool, you're walking through and then here's this bad guy. And then you walk through a little bit more and you're like, hey, here's this platforming bit where you have to figure out how to jump on these disappearing blocks or whatever. And then the next part is here's the bad guy and the disappearing blocks.
Yeah.
Right? And so like the difficulty ramps up. So you're like, cool, here's how you handle this thing, and then here's how you handle this thing, and then here's how you handle them. Like now figure out how to handle them both together. Right? That's good game design.
Yeah.
There are some people that just drop you into here's a bad guy and a platform.
Capcom hasn't always been that forgiving.
That's
because
true.
The first Mega Man game.
The first Mega Man game is really hard, but the first Mega Man game is really hard partially because it doesn't control as well as the other ones.
But even the updated versions of it, where they have tweaked the controls of it, it's still a hard game.
It is.
Especially compared to all the ones that came after it.
Yeah.
You look at the difficulty of 1 versus 2, and those are drastically different in the difficulty.
But see, here's the thing about Mega Man 2 is that there's 2 difficulty settings. And most people start on normal.
Yes.
If you play Mega Man 2 on difficult, it's as difficult as Mega Man 1.
Yes.
Right? So that's where I would say, having an easy mode is absolutely fair, because that way, I want to play a game and I want to, I want to play the game. If I just want to see the story or whatever, give me an easier setting so I can get through the story. If I want a challenge, give me a harder difficulty.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple of older games.
Wasn't the easy mode, or not the easier, the easier and difficult and normal on Mega Man 2, wasn't that only in an American release? Wasn't that not in the Japanese release?
Correct. Yeah, the Japanese release was just difficult mode. Yeah, and the American ones are like, when Capcom USA saw, they're like, this is way too hard. We want people to actually play this game. So they programmed a second version.
It fell victim of the things like Mario Brothers 2, why we didn't get actual Mario Brothers 2.
Right, because Mario 2 was...
whatever that other game was.
Doki Doki Panic.
There we go, Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah, Howard Phillips saw what we know as Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels and said, this is way too hard. Like, no one's going to want to play this. Right? No kid is going to pick this up and be able to... But the other side of that is, it was developed to be, hey, you've beaten Mario 1. Now have some harder... Here's some more hard challenge, right?
And I think they've vastly underestimated the video game public. I don't know necessarily that would have sold as well in the first Mario Brothers, but I think they underestimated how many people would have played that game as well.
I think that there were a couple of games like I think one of the Golden Axe games, I think maybe Golden Axe 2, if you put it on easy, you can only play up through like level 4.
Yeah.
And then it's like, cool, you did that, now go try it on hard. Go try it on normal.
Yeah.
Toe Jam and Earl Panic on Funkatron, the second Toe Jam and Earl game, has a mode called Kid Mode, where when your life bar empties, it just resets. Like you literally cannot die, but you can only play the first 3 levels.
Okay.
Maybe 4, whatever. You only play the first few levels, you can't play the entire game. So that way you can play the game, you can get used to its mechanics, you can learn how the game works without feeling like you're being punished because the game's too difficult.
Yeah.
And I feel like something like that is a good middle ground, right?
Yeah.
So that way, like, okay, if you want to play the game, you can still play. We'll make an easier mode for you. You can still kind of get into it. But if you really want to beat the game, you have to beat it on at least normal difficulty, which is what we designed the game to be.
Yeah.
But what about a game like this one where it's specifically designed for difficult combat? That's the point of the game, is to have hard, brutally engaging combat.
So I say make an easier mode, but stop it after the first couple levels. Or you can only reach a certain point in the game.
If the developer's intent is for it from the first fight it to be brutal.
Yeah, well then put a warning on the box, right? Like, so
that's something that they from the time that they started talking about this game is like they've no bones about like this is going to be difficult. Like this is one of our Dark Souls style you know what Dark Souls is, this is going to be harder.
Sure, and that's great for people that sit on the internet all day and look up video game stuff. That's not great for kids that don't look up a lot of stuff online and just walk into Walmart and they're like, hey, that game was cool.
Well, this would go into the rating situation where their parents would have to buy it for them in the first place.
Okay, because it's rated mature. Yeah. So okay, cool.
That's, again, we're looking at the not going to, well, is it going to be kids or anything like that? We're just looking at the developers for this game.
Right.
They're putting out a game with a maturity rating on it. They're putting out a game that they're intending to be difficult. They're putting out a game, and this is what they're intending to put out. Is it fair to tell them that they need to include easier modes for it?
I'm not saying tell them to do it. I'm saying they should choose to do it. I'm saying all the developers should choose to have an easier mode.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And that way, because if you want your games to be accessible, if you want people to play the game, if you want people to enjoy the game, you need to cater to a wider audience, right? If you don't want to make money and you just want to make a game, sure, by all means, go ahead and make a thing that's super hard, and then have your Metacritic score go way down.
But in the same aspect, if you look at something like Big Red Gum, they make cinnamon gum. I'm allergic to cinnamon. I can't have Big Red Gum.
Sure.
Should they make Big Red without cinnamon?
But they make other types of gum, is the thing.
But not a Big Red Gum that doesn't have cinnamon.
Yeah.
That tastes like Big Red, but it doesn't have the cinnamon in it.
Sure. So they absolutely could choose. Isn't Big Red owned by Wrigley's, though? And Wrigley's does make other types of gum?
Yeah, but it's not Big Red, though.
Right. Well, it's red because it's cinnamon flavored.
But it doesn't have to be cinnamon flavored.
It doesn't?
They could have it cinnamon flavored without actually having cinnamon in it.
Or it could be raspberry flavored or cherry flavored.
Well, but still, though, why it's the same thing. This other company, they make other games, too.
Sure.
I think, if I may,
why? Because I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate here.
Sure,
yeah,
right.
no.
I kind of look at it like it's art. Like if the company puts out something, that's what they put out. Like there's no, you don't have to even look at that game if you don't want to play.
Right.
Like I don't like racing games.
Sure.
I have no interest in that type of video game. So why would I even like? You guys should make it easier for me to play so I can play your racing game. It doesn't this is kind of one of those weird.
Stephanie has her hand raised.
Okay.
Me. Okay, so allow me to kind of maybe soften the tone a little bit, but
I didn't mean for it to be harsh. I apologize.
No. It was just it's very obvious that you have strong feelings about this, and you have strong feelings about this. But me, as the person who doesn't play as many video games, I'm like, wait over here.
Sure, and sometimes we need that in this kind of conversation.
Yeah. So I guess the way to put it is, as someone who does usually do the normal or the easy levels myself, if I'm interested in a game, like if I sit and I watch like one of my favorite YouTubers play it, or I see it on like a commercial ad or something, if I see a game I want to play and I buy it and it doesn't have an easy mode or whatever mode, if it just goes straight into the game and I think it's difficult, here's the thing, they've already gotten my money at that point.
That's true.
At the same time, even if it is difficult for me, I probably know somebody else in my life who might enjoy the game better, like more. So I'll probably be like, this game's too hard for me. I can't finish it. I haven't been able to finish it. You've been wanting this game. Here, it's yours, type thing.
Sure.
Quick question. You started that, though, with saying that you'd seen YouTubers play it or something to that effect. So you've, in a sense, already researched the product to a certain degree.
Yes. So
and I'm trying to play, I don't really, I have no horse in this race in any which way. I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate
Sure,
here.
yeah.
It's just kind of was like, I saw that even online. It's kind of like I see it from each point, but at the same time, I don't see any point. So it just kind of was like, okay, well, you saw a YouTuber play it already, so you kind of already knew what type of game it was. If you bought it at that point, that's kind of like that's on you more than it is on the game company to be like, hey.
Yes, but if say someone like who doesn't watch the YouTubers play video games, saw like an ad for it or whatever,
or let's say Stephanie watches me playing Mega Man 2, and I'm really good at that game, so I make it look super easy. She goes and buys it, and it's way too hard for her, right? Because my skill level is different than her skill level, right? And so now she did look it up on YouTube, she did watch someone play it, it didn't look hard, and then she got it home and it actually is too hard.
And the other thing is...
Well, but the difference between that and like this type of game, I would say, is that whereas Mega Man is difficult, it's not designed to be that kind of a difficult game, whereas this one, if a YouTuber is playing it, they're going to be... They're going to be having a hard time. This is a professional gamer that you're seeing having a hard time. So
let me give an example then. I have watched the Game Grumps play Dark Souls, which is supposedly a very hard game.
Yes.
I have watched them rage quit. I have watched how the mechanics go of all of it.
And this game is basically the same but harder. It's designed
same
to be
but harder?
less forgiving, than Dark Souls is.
And the thing is, so I think what it'll pretty much come down to, no matter, there is the correct point of, it is their game. They can decide if they want an easy mode or not.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And there's also the correct point of, no matter what the game is, if people are interested, they will go buy it.
Yeah.
And I think what it really just needs to come down to is, because I've seen the Game Grumps play Dark Souls. And I know from a fact from everyone I've spoken to that that's a really hard game. And I'm not interested in playing Dark Souls, not only because it's a hard game, but also just because I'm not interested in playing Dark Souls.
Sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, if I showed them a video of me doing Dance Central on expert mode or hard mode, they would think, I'm making it look easy because I'm doing all the dance moves correctly. But at the same time, I'm breaking a sweat.
Right. Whereas
I would be seeing how fast that screen's going by, going, nope.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
Exactly.
Because my personal opinion on it, I feel like if it's a narrative-driven game, like a Skyrim, that game, it should have different difficulty levels because that's a game that you want the accessibility to.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's such a gigantic game. You want people experiencing it as much as they can. If they're having trouble getting through a part, you definitely want them to be able to tone down the difficulty on it and get through it. Because that game's not designed to be difficult. It's designed for you to experience.
Right.
Is this game like a free-for-all type just combat game?
It's got a story to it. It's Dark Souls-ish where it's kind of RPG element. It's mostly about the combat. It's about the combat and just the learning the patterns of your enemy and doing that and killing them.
So at that rate,
the RPG of it's there, but it's kind of secondary. It's mostly a combat type driven game.
Right. So the story enhances the game, not the gameplay enhancing the story.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
Okay, so if that's okay.
So where it's this game, the people that are playing it, they're playing it for the gameplay, not for the game world or and it's a new IP, so it's not like there's a gigantic amount of lore behind it where it's I played the previous game, now this game's too hard and I can't continue on with it. It's to where if this was Mass Effect 4, and people played the first 3 and this was a continuation of the first
you don't
3.
want that to be too hard because you're turning off.
because you're alienating a huge chunk of your audience.
Absolutely.
Whereas if this was Mass Effect 1, it's a brand new Mass Effect. There's never been any other Mass Effects before this.
So
and they made it super hard.
So I would say that there should be some way for the developer to communicate to the game buying audience on the box, probably.
Yeah.
Well, it's the game buying audience pretty much is unanimous going no, they shouldn't make it easier. Which is where this conversation has mostly been. If you look at the conversation online right now, it's mostly been games media saying make it easier for people because of disabilities, and the disability people going no,
right,
don't do that,
now
and saying
that's not okay.
accessibility should be easier for everybody, and then gamers going I don't play this because it's a difficult game. I already know it's a difficult game. Why would I play this? So that's where it comes in. It gets to it kind of became an ironic point where a lot of the game journalists had put up things these games just aren't for you, for Gone Home, things like that. You find it boring. Well, obviously this wasn't made for you.
Right.
They're throwing it back at the journalists.
So
obviously Dark Souls wasn't made for you.
Right.
Yeah. No.
It's a little funny, but
I think the thing that we're kind of missing here, and you brought it back up, kind of going back to the initial thing, is the fact that they're wanting an easy mode for those with disabilities. Not an easy mode for those that want to play the game.
Well, that's the way it was originally framed, and that kind of got thrown out the window real quick. The general talk just became more about the easy mode, and making games just on whole, every game should have the option to make it easier.
Right. So I'm going to use myself as this example. I don't have disabilities, but I don't play a lot of different games. I play the same games a lot. Right? And so for me, I like having an adjustable difficulty setting because I want to
improve.
I want to get through the game and then cool, I've beaten it on normal a couple times. Let me try it on hard. Let me try it on very hard. Let me try it on hardest. Let me try it on mania. Right?
See, or whatever. With games I love, like BioShock. I played that through every difficulty level, a million times. I'm sure the same with your retro game.
Yeah, exactly. So I think an adjustable difficulty setting makes sense. And if you're not going to do that, I think there needs to be something on the box that says, in the way that we have a rating system for content, maybe we need a rating system for difficulty. If we're not going to have an adjustable difficulty, put something, and I mean, you can't standardize that because that's going to be subjective to the raters. But something that something that basically says we intend this to be a challenging game. Or experience this challenging, difficult, brutal fight.
Put a sticker on there that says buyer beware. This game is difficult. Something like that.
Right. Yeah. Whereas I could play
But then wouldn't that come down to your individual store? If your store is going to do that, shouldn't it come down to the retailer? It's their choice whether or not to put a sticker on there. Because if you buy it, and it's too hard for you.
And I think it's a manufacturer thing. I think the company producing the game, if Capcom's making a super hard game, if BioWare's BioWare's making Ubisoft, whoever, if they're making super hard games, cool, put a thing on there that says that this game is challenging. If they're making a game that's, for the average person, just put moderate on there, right? If you're making a thing for kids, put a thing that says aimed at younger audiences, right? And I don't know how you standardize that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to do the ESRB.
ESRB stuff. It's it already says for all ages. Why should I have to put a difficulty thing on? It's where it gets into
because those ratings aren't for
because the game can be super difficult, but it's for everybody, right? Kind of thing. To where then you get that combination of wait a minute, it says PC for everyone, but the second tag says
Right.
intended for
Right. So
advanced gamers.
Right.
Like, how does that work?
Because one is content, one
Yeah.
is difficulty.
But that would require
right?
then the average consumer understanding the difference between
Well,
the two.
and the
things
average
already.
consumer doesn't
Yeah.
understand the
No,
content
they
of
don't.
rating
Your
already.
average soccer parent, mom, dad, whatever,
Dude, when
doesn't pay attention to
What
this
does
kind of
the
thing.
E stand for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the M stands for mild.
Yeah.
I worked at Toys R Us for 3.5 weeks. I heard that 72 times.
It's not a salsa.
Yeah. Like,
I had never
what
heard
is this
that
game
one.
rated? I watched a kid tell his mom the M stood for mild. It says mature right on there.
No,
Like-
no, I like mild now. I like mild, like
Yeah.
the salsa.
Yeah, the M is for mild.
That's
like,
fantastic.
Yeah, so like,
Bring the chips.
listen, we all know what movie ratings are, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
G is for anyone, right? Mostly little kids. PG is generally family friendly. PG-13 is pushing a little bit. R is for adults.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we can do a whole other conversation about the rating system because, like,
Well-
the ESRB, which was created during a time of extreme, I don't want to say censorship, but sensitivity.
Well, yeah.
There's stuff that's light years worse than what they rated
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
TV every day
Yeah.
True.
compared to the ESRB. So we can
Yeah.
do a whole other conversation about those kind of
Right.
things. I was
Right.
curious about what your guys' opinion
Yeah.
was on
Yeah,
this.
no, for sure.
Let us know your opinion, guys.
Yeah.
Send us a message.
Yeah.
Let me know. Do
Absolutely.
you feel like,
Yeah,
is this one of those things where companies should add easy mode? Do you feel like, no, if a game is going to be
Yeah.
hard, I'm going to know already.
We'll post it on Facebook
Yeah,
and
let us
I
know
can
how
share
you
it with
feel
you.
about it. We,
Yeah.
definitely interested in that feedback.
Yeah, my stance is as and I also realize I'm speaking as a content creator, right?
Yeah.
I've made comics, right? I
Yeah.
have come up with ideas for video games, right? And so I want my stuff to be enjoyed by as many people as possible,
Yeah.
right? So we chose not to put nudity in the comic. We
Yeah.
chose not to put brutal murder in the comic because we were like, yeah, they're swearing, but even
Yeah.
after a while, we were like, yeah, why are we dropping F-bombs all the time, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't add anything. It's just we're doing it because we're a couple of jackasses in our 20s, right? Yeah, it was like, cool, we're not bound by the comics code,
Yeah.
so we're going to do whatever we want because we're on the internet
Yeah.
and it's 2003. And after a couple years, we were like, yeah, this is stupid. Like,
Yeah.
we should just, like, this mellow out. Let's, why put that there if it's not adding anything,
Yeah.
right? So,
I mean, in South Park already did the F-bomb thing for the
Right.
entire movie, so
Right.
you can never top that. It's
Yeah.
pointless. Like,
Exactly.
It's lost its power.
yeah.
Yep,
So,
it
like,
has.
I don't know. Let the developer do what they want, but I feel like the developer should all choose adjustable difficulty so they
Yeah.
can get as many people to enjoy the game as
Yeah, and I
possible.
kind of see that as one of those, like, depends on what kind of game you're looking at, because if
Absolutely.
you want everybody to be able to experience Smash Brothers,
Right.
you know,
true.
definitely.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're going for more of a limited audience, then
Yeah.
limit your audience.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
it's up to
So-
everybody, and everybody's got their own
Right.
thing going.
Yep.
But hey, on to other news.
Other
Sure.
news.
You know what? As of recording this, something came out last night that I'm dying to go see. I didn't get to last night, unfortunately.
Is it the other Captain Marvel?
It is the other Captain Marvel.
Yay! Also known as Shazam.
Yes. As my uncle would say, the other Captain Marvel. The other one with a lightning bolt on his chest.
The one with the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Good
came
old- good
out
old
so
Billy
far.
Batson.
It's getting some good reviews.
Cool.
A lot of people were saying that they loved it, that they felt like they saw a movie from when they were a kid. It feels like a lot of the old G movies, your Goonies, your Gremlins,
Oh,
things
nice.
like
Oh,
that.
fantastic.
People are likening to that. It's basically a modern version of one of those classic kid movies. Is what
Nice.
they're saying. It's fun for adults, fun for kids. That it's just a fun movie to go see.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's not going to revolutionize movie making or superhero movies or anything like that.
Sure.
It's from what everybody's saying, it's just a fun, just take your family
Excellent.
and go see it kind of flick. It's,
Cool.
it's
I
a good,
might-
a good coming of age film.
Yeah.
It's a good family film. It's a good superhero. Like they're just like it's just a fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a fun
Yeah.
flick.
I believe my roommates and I are going to go see it tomorrow. So
Yeah. I look forward to seeing this one. So
Yeah, I want to go see it, and I may have to go see it again after, Endgame and everything like that happens.
yeah.
to lighten the mood.
Yes,
And
does it feel better
hopefully
about
everybody out
myself?
there listening got their tickets to the premiere night of Endgame because
So I have a story.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Before you have your story, I did not. So I'm gonna have to wait a couple days to see Endgame.
Oh man.
But
So
Stephanie, go on.
So are we gonna have to like lock you into a room when we do the podcast that week?
did you get your tickets for opening night?
I'll let you know. Maybe I'll just skip out that episode.
It's like, okay, is Andy out of the room? Is he
Yeah.
away from is he away from the microphones? Okay, now we can talk. No, so the story was that on Monday this week, like around like 11 o'clock in the evening, I get because I made like a group event with a bunch of my friends, like saying, "Hey nerds, let's go see, Avengers Endgame and everything like that." Like back when Captain Marvel had come out, and
Captain Marvel just crossed $1 billion, by the way.
yeah,
It did. Congratulations to the filmmakers, by the way.
Yay, Carol! All right,
Which is great for the comic book industry because the last two comic book movies that came out, Aquaman, Captain Marvel, both $1 billion box office worldwide.
Also, Infinity War and Black Panther.
Of course, Infinity War did.
But also
Wow.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
So
Black Panther as well.
right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
just like it's a straight shot of superhero movies.
Yeah.
Have all been crossing $1 billion.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
So anyway, no, you're good. So so that post went out, and so a friend of mine posted like, "Hey guys, I think it looks like the tickets are on sale. Go ahead and start grabbing your tickets for we were trying to figure out what's showing." And I said, "No, 7:00. Reasonable time in the evening. People get off work, and then we can go see it, and then it's not too late when we get done.
Right. Maybe grab dinner between
or after or whatever. Yeah. So I wake up the next morning to 2 messages on my phone. Message number 1 is, "Hey, can I bring a friend of mine?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, of course, you can totally bring a friend." And the second message was, "Hey, I bought your and your husband's tickets."
But
And I looked at her and I'm like, "Thank you? Wait, what?" So I was really confused, and I got to work. So I decided, like, okay, I'm gonna take a look at this and see what's going on. Every theater for the 7:00 showing of Endgame was sold out, and I was like, "Holy crap!" So I messaged her back saying, "Oh my god, thank you!" And because she knew that we'd probably buy it later, and I was planning to buy them today because payday. So I was planning to buy them today, so I had them for then, but. I'm glad she bought them.
Thank goodness she did, huh? You're able to not have to pay $3,500 on eBay like some people are.
What the hell's up with that, too?
Yeah, man, people, it's still going to be available the next day.
yeah,
It's like
You
it's
can
a one.
watch it the next day. You don't need to spend $3,500 on a ticket.
It's
Like,
not-
if you spent $3,500 to go see the premiere in Hollywood with like all the actors for
That's
the show,
one
and stuff,
thing.
like
Maybe.
I could see that. Like
Yeah.
if you're a diehard fan and you really wanted
Yeah,
to
'cause
go,
you're-
like I could
yeah.
totally see, like, hey, I'm going to splurge and go,
Because you're paying for the
yeah.
hotel at that point, the nice outfit, the dinner,
Even just
the
for the
movie.
tickets, I can justify being
yeah.
a
If you're going to
fanboy
like Man's
enough.
Chinese Theater and you're going to go be
Yeah.
there with
Oh,
everyone,
If you're,
yeah.
like,
right?
if you're fanboy enough, $3,500 on a ticket to go see it at the actual Hollywood premiere, I could totally
That's
understand
one thing.
spending that kind of money on something like that.
But
Going to see it at the Tucson Theater at 7:00, no, I can't justify that.
No.
I can't justify spending money on that kind of. Even to go see it in the New York, any New York theater.
poor
doesn't matter.
AMC,
LA theater doesn't matter. It's just
poor AMC. Their whole website was like, dies.
yeah. Luckily, I had a friend of mine that he works right next to a theater that I really like here in Scottsdale. It's
Ooh,
Roadhouse
nice.
Theaters.
Okay.
Great, one of those dinner movie kind of theaters where you can actually
cool.
get the
Oh, yeah,
recliners. You can kick back and
Did he
watch
have an
watch
extra
the movie.
ticket for you?
Give them a little bit of free promotion here. But he got me an extra ticket and everything. He went in there and just bought the tickets that morning and everything before they even started selling them online. They were like, "Oh yeah, we'll sell you one." So he ended up getting some good stuff and. That theater is fantastic. I can't wait to go see it. They got this gourmet popcorn they do there where they bring it to you in this big old bowl.
Yes.
And you can actually get it. Like, I prefer the one that's got the pepper jack cheese and jalapenos in it.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
You Arizona native. And your spicy ass foods.
Yep.
I like my butter on my popcorn.
But they have those you can get
Their
the,
cheddar popcorn is really
yeah,
good.
they have
I mean, your
cheddar
fingers are
corn
just covered in cheddar
yeah.
powder by the
oh,
end.
it's
But
Like a Cheeto?
it's not like
but like a white Cheeto.
you almost need to ask them for a fork to eat the popcorn.
Kind of,
there.
yeah.
Can I
But
just
it's so
shovel?
good. You can get the sweet stuff. They have kettle corn. You can get the sweet stuff. Like I'm giving them a lot of free advertising here. It's really, really, really good.
They're gonna listen to this episode saying, why are we paying them for this?
Yeah.
What's going on?"
But so he ended up getting his tickets there. I can't wait for it because I tried to get on that day. I didn't even know he had bought them. I got on to go look and it was sold out. I was like, crap. Next showing sold out. Next showing sold out. Next day all sold out. I was like, man.
Oh wow, really? Already
Yeah.
the next day now? Because when I was looking, the
'Cause
next
that's
day
not a
hadn't
very
even
big
touched
theater.
yet.
Yeah.
Roadhouse doesn't like
Oh, right,
it's
Roadhouse,
because it's
right.
the big fancy like recliner seats,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
means they have
Okay.
fewer seats available.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Which now I want to do the
Yeah,
Roadhouse.
and they set them up.
Yeah.
They call them love seats, which I think is kind of funny because it's me and my gigantic friend that are going to see this. But they're just little pods of 2 seats
Yep.
where you got your little thing where you can bring the waiter in, and they have a full liquor menu. They
Yeah, it's like the AMC dine-in theater.
Yeah. This one though takes it to the next level. It's great. Like they have like homemade ice cream there.
Yeah.
Just, like I said, they have those crazy, insane gourmet popcorns where they bring it to you in this giant bowl, and it's never ending. That's the other thing too. It's like $10. Like, oh yeah, I want to get the jalapeno cheddar one. Okay, here you go, and they just keep bringing it to you and bringing it to you and bringing it to you.
So
So for this 3-hour long Endgame movie.
It's a lot of
I'm getting
popcorn.
the bottomless beer and a bunch of popcorn. You better believe.
Make sure you call an Uber for ride home.
Avengers Endgame is projected now to make between $200 and $250 million opening weekend.
I would imagine it's probably already made that from the pre-sale
Holy
tickets.
crap.
This article is from about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I would be shocked if they didn't make that in pre-sale tickets for that.
If
movie.
it breaks,
Disney's already made its money back.
if it breaks 257.6 million, it beats out Infinity War as the biggest domestic opening weekend of all time.
It will.
So
I'm making the prediction right now. It's going to beat its own record.
I'm bringing the tissues.
Like I'm just.
no, this
I
is
know
the one.
Thanos
This
is
is the
fighting
one
to
where,
die. It's gonna be
this
so
is the one
sad.
where everybody wins. It's going to be happy at the end.
But what if it's Tears of Joy?
That was the last one.
Okay. No. Oh well, depending on your outlook. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like for the tears
I'm
of
Team
joy
Roller.
and for the unmuffled screaming that I may need to shut my friend up. Like shut up, stuff like tissues in her mouth, like, so she can't scream.
Man, and we still have to wait a couple weeks for that.
Yep.
But,
in the meantime, though,
Shazam.
we get Shazam.
We get
Yay!
Shazam.
Yeah.
Yes.
We get a nice, light-hearted, funny movie.
Yeah.
To kind
Yeah.
of put a spring in our step for the next
Yeah.
couple weeks until we go see something that's going to devastate.
Also, if you guys are going to go see
I mean,
Endgame,
yeah.
start watching all of the Marvel movies tonight.
That's true.
Start one a
Actually,
night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
because
you go.
there's 20 of them available on home video right now because Captain Marvel's not out yet. So
And I know
Yeah.
the two of you aren't very interested, but something else comes back this month that's very important to a huge chunk of the nerddom out there.
Is it,
Something is coming.
Winter?
Yes.
Is winter coming?
Yes, winter is coming. There you go.
As I sing the theme song.
Yes. Game of Thrones is coming back
Woo! It comes
for
out
the final
next
season.
week.
I know. I'm excited. I can't
Stephanie's
wait.
into it. It's just me. I'm the weirdo.
Oh, is it just you? I didn't
It's just
think
me.
you did either.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, no, so it's so when this episode premieres,
So we're
it'll
going
be
to have a long talk about Game of Thrones next week.
so here we can talk about Game of Thrones next
Yeah.
week. We can also talk about it when I get back from Ireland because the first 2 episodes are going to be premiering while I'm there.
Yeah, I know. You're going to have to take a ton of pictures while you're there, too.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Going
Oh,
everywhere.
by the way, Stephanie's going away for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to Ireland. I should be in next week's episode, so we'll get that out to you guys early, and then it'll be the week after, which, speaking of which, next weekend is Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
And you know what the following episode we would be talking about would be?
Star Wars Celebration.
Yes!
So we might have to Skype you in or something for that one. We'll see what we can do.
I don't care what time it is in Ireland. I will call in to talk about it.
We'll see what we can do. Even if we only have you for on for a little bit just to talk Star Wars, we'll see what we can do
Heck
about getting
yeah.
you Skyped in.
Yeah, and we can talk about the rest of the
some
week after.
Star Wars Celebration.
And we can talk about the week after
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
So, anyway,
Nothing but
Andy, what else do you have?
What else do I have? Well, let's see. I had one more game that we didn't get to called My Friend Pedro.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's
Pedro for president.
3. I was actually wearing my Vote for Pedro wristband the other day.
Wait, tater tots.
Gosh. Stephanie's trying not to laugh with a mouthful of water. That's almost more amusing than what I'm about to say.
It was impressive. She did not ruin the microphone.
Yeah.
Do you want- I pointed my head the other direction, and if I need to spray water on someone, I'll just turn toward you.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
he's
you.
got a microphone in front of his face too.
Yeah.
I'll do this. I'll just like lean far away.
Spare the audio guy a heart attack. Don't spit on the microphone.
Yeah.
Oh no!
That's the grossest sound I've made all day.
Yeah.
So My Friend Pedro, it's got 3D graphics, but it's a 2D side scroller. It's described as a 2D side scroller twin stick shooter. But apparently they're going to involve bullet time in some way. So Matrix style bullet time.
Interesting.
Yeah. So imagine like your Contra style shooter, right? But maybe closer to Contra 4. What was the one on Super Nintendo? Contra 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You look at any of these articles, and there's only so much information you get from a couple of pictures and a small write up. Because I still use the internet like a magazine. Yeah, but a quote unquote 2D Hotline Miami or Max Payne is how this one got described.
Interesting.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, like the graphics are a little dark and murky and not quite my scene, but that looks like it could be a fun game.
Yeah,
I'd like to try that out. And My Friend Pedro is kind of a cool. Like, that doesn't tell me anything about the game, but it's also not a one-word title like Destiny. Like, what the hell is that game about?
Your
right?
Destiny?
Not Destiny.
Well,
I guess in a roundabout way, but
yeah, but I mean, there's so many games now. There's a one
it's
word
mostly
title.
about shooting your friends in the face in the Crucible is really what Destiny's kind of boils down to.
Yeah, it should probably just be called the Crucible, right?
Yeah, there's copyright on that.
What's the other one? Is
now
it
Gambit Prime? That's what it should be called.
Sure,
That's basically all Destiny is now.
What's the other? Is it Apex Legends? Is the other game? Right?
Apex, no,
Yeah,
it's
that's one of the Battle
Fortnite.
Royale games.
Sure,
Fortnite and
right,
Battle Royale.
but what does Apex?
Fortnite and Apex Legends.
Fortnite. That game. That word means 14 days.
Well, the original game for Fortnite was a survival horror game. It was a survival tower defense game, really.
Okay, and you were trying to
there was
survive for
zombies.
2 weeks.
You were trying to survive. Well, it was every mission you went on, you had to survive for so many days or
Okay,
something.
and tower defense of fort.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's all right. I
And
just
then
noticed
they were
that.
like, hey, let's throw a Battle Royale mode on there to see if we can make
And
some
now
extra
everyone
money.
just
And it
plays
went
that mode.
insane.
Okay.
And they kind of forgot about the game mode that started the game.
Apex
Okay.
is strictly just Battle Royale.
Yeah.
It is Apex Legends in the
Yes,
game, right?
and
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for-
Everybody just says Apex.
right. So, but Apex means top of the food
it's
chain.
like Coca-Cola Classic, everybody just says Coca-Cola.
Right. But so Apex Legends, what does that mean, right? It's like a bunch of things that are at the top of the food chain. I guess that doesn't tell me anything about
Kinda,
the game.
'cause
Though.
they're all hunting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I can infer things, but it doesn't tell
The
me
last
anything.
person's alive wins.
Yeah,
So the other thing is too
I
is
think it's
that
just
I've
all
heard that
Running
Apex is
Man.
better than Fortnite.
I mean,
Of course,
It's
that's
all going to come down
it's
to
all
player
subjective. Yeah, it's
preference.
gonna be
So.
like we were talking earlier. Like, do you like Dark
Again-
Souls? Do you like racing games? What do you do?
It's just again, it's the thing of where I watched a
The
YouTuber
problem-
play it, and
the
they
problem I was
said,
actually seeing with those battle royale style games, and something that I think they have a problem with going forward is they're getting to the point where the people that play them get really good at them. But the people that don't and might come into them can't play
Right.
Because-
and they can't learn to play because they're just instantly getting killed anytime they play.
So I'm having that problem with Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh.
where I'm pretty good at fighting games. Right. Anytime I've entered a Street Fighter or Capcom Fighter tournament, I've never gotten worse than quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I've done semis. I made it to the finals in a Marvel's Capcom 2 tournament once. I haven't won any, but I've never done worse than quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Right. And I haven't competed in Evo or anything, so I'm not, but like any local tournaments, like I've never done that bad. I can't play against my brother in Dragon Ball Fighters anymore because he just like his free time is dedicated to that game and to Smash Ultimate, and like that's all he's doing when he's not at work, or at least how it sounds. So his skill level has gone so much higher than mine that like it's not fun for me to play anymore because I show up and I lose.
Yeah.
Right. And so kind of like I can still play against a computer and I can play matches online every so often, but like at a certain point it's like I only have so much time to play video games,
and I
right?
think that's something they have to look at going forward for those battle royale games. Is that and I kind of see Apex Legends is already at that point.
Yeah.
because I saw a couple people recently on my Xbox friends list that started playing it and they hadn't played it yet.
Right.
And I only saw them playing it for a day or two and they stopped.
And then
playing
they
it.
stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not saying anything about them because I've seen them play other games and I know that they're decent at games and everything like that. It's not saying anything on their skill level.
Right.
If you don't have a chance to actually play
learn
the
how to
game,
play,
If every time that you start the game you're dead within the first 5-10 minutes,
Yeah, I'm not going to play anymore.
you're not really going to be able to learn anything.
A friend of mine, I remember when Team Fortress 2 was super hot.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was telling me that like he jumped into it because he was like, yeah, this game's super popular. Let me check it out. And he showed up, the match started, and he died in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. And then he respawned or whatever and died in less than 30 seconds. And then like basically his team booted him from the server, and they were like, get this C word out of here. He's no good. Right. And it's like, okay, well, at that point,
See, that's on Valve's part because they at the time, I imagine they didn't have it on there. They had like things where these are beginner servers.
Right.
And these are, you know what I mean? If you're first starting out, click here. Then they'll take you to the spots like, oh, you're playing against other people.
this
that
is
are first
why I
starting
play
out.
one player mode.
Yeah.
Without
See, and that
the
was
internet.
Valve's fault though.
Sure.
They didn't have that. They just had like, play, click.
So again,
and you go straight into a game.
Adjustable difficulty.
Yeah.
Even if it is you're playing against players of a certain skill level or whatever.
And that's
like
something that these games are going to have to look at. They're going to have to be like, hey, our matchmaking, we're going to have to adjust things. If we have somebody that's got less than 10 hours in the game, we can't be putting them in a game against nobody.
against someone with 4,000 hours.
Everybody in here has over 100 hours logged. And if one person has less than an hour, we can't.
Or is brand new.
Yeah. Let's try to matchmake to where people with under 100 hours all go into the lobby together.
Right.
You know what I mean? That would be a lot more fair because you're going to get a little bit more.
Absolutely. And I mean, that breaks at a certain point, right? Because I have played a ton of Street Fighter over the last 30 years.
And eventually you're not going to have those lobbies because you're not going to have enough player base that's
Right.
done those lower things, but you can still go like, okay, to adjust the skill level accordingly.
Right.
The people that play less have a higher or lower
Yep.
win ratio, things like that. Those
Right.
all start getting put into the same lobbies, and
Yeah, I mean, it falls apart a little bit, like I was saying, because I play the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, right, and I'm playing Third Strike online with that. And, like, yeah, I'm better than a lot of the people that come on because I've been playing that game since it came out in 1998, so 20 years. But the other side of that is I very quickly stopped playing up against I stopped being matched up against new players.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm being matched up with players that actually have a technical higher ranking than me in the game because they play more. But I'm still beating them because I'm better than them because I have played more over time.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't win all my matches. Like, I'm not getting in here to say that I'm hot shit or anything. But like, yeah, like you have to pay attention to matchmaking and stuff, because otherwise, you turn it on.
You're going to burn out in people coming to the game,
Right.
because you're only going to lose people at that point. You're not going to gain people.
Exactly.
So, what else you got, Andy? I know you had some comic stuff.
Yeah, there was some comic stuff.
Are we gonna hold that for next week?
Yeah, we're pretty short on time here, so I think I'm gonna hold some of this off. But there was one thing that I thought was really cool that I can say real quick. Go Power Rangers, right? So there's the two Power Rangers comics. There's the Mighty Morphin one, and then Go is the second one. And Go Power Rangers technically takes place. It's a replacement for the first season, or it takes place in the middle, whatever. They're gonna introduce the Green Ranger. Okay. So, but they said they're not gonna do Green with Evil, right? So they're not gonna retell the 5-part episodes where they have the evil Green Ranger show up and fight the other Rangers, and then
he
stops being
becomes a good
brainwashed.
guy.
Right?
Yeah.
They're just gonna start with him being a good guy. And they said it's gonna be. Tommy was one of their friends and transferred to a different school or something like that.
Yeah.
And then comes back, and they all have to keep from him that they're Power Rangers, even though he's one of their best friends.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so they're going to do more character-driven stuff. And the quote that I got was like, yeah, we wanted to tell new stories. We didn't want to retell the old stories.
Yeah.
And this is a very unique opportunity where there's one origin for the Green Ranger right now. Let's make a second one. Let's try something else.
Try something different.
All
and
right.
if it works, great. And if it doesn't work, just pretend Green with Evil was the origin for the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. So that'll be starting up in Go Power Rangers
And
issue
who's to
21.
say if they started out this way, they couldn't eventually be like, people aren't liking this. Let's all of a sudden make them evil.
Well, and the thing is the other Power Rangers book has already come. It takes place literally right after Green with Evil ends.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want one Power Ranger universe doing it one way, you've got that, and if you want to try something new, you got the other way.
There you go.
So they're catering to all fans.
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
Adjustable difficulty.
There you go. So I've got a couple
That should
things.
be the name of the episode.
That's what I was thinking, actually. So I have a couple things. So I know I mentioned back, like the last episode I was on, that they were making a Dora the Explorer movie. Mm-hmm. So they released the trailer the next day.
They sure did.
They really?
Yes.
I didn't even notice that.
And
it's ridiculous.
It's a Nickelodeon movie. It's very obvious a Nickelodeon movie. It's
Yeah.
very ridiculous. Michael Pena's in it.
Why I know that name.
Michael Pena, the Luis from Ant-Man.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
yes, yes, yes.
okay.
So he's in that movie, and it just
I knew the name. I was like,
it looks interesting. So if you have kids and you want to show them it, comes out in August. So check it out on Nickelodeon.
Is he being himself or like
He's
an
being
actor, or is he
Dora's
like,
dad.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
like, is he like the backpack or?
No, he's Dora's dad, and the backpack doesn't talk based off the commercial.
Okay, what
Or
about
it
the
does,
map?
and we don't know yet.
We don't know.
We don't know. But Dora is like 13 in this.
Yeah.
So it looks like Dora's grown up.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she's, stuck on a weird jungle adventure.
It's like Mean Girls meets Dora.
Yeah, it actually kind of looks fun, and it looks like something that, like, I'm probably not going to see it in theaters, but I might wait till it comes out on video, and, like, I might actually watch it. It looks ridiculous enough that it
I
might
can't
be
believe there's
cool.
not like a Cheech and Chong style parody of Dora.
Well, we just got Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
There
so,
we go.
you know.
So, and then there's another thing from the Nick Jr. childhood era that I'm just going to really quickly say. Blue's Clues is coming back with a new host.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow.
His name is Josh Dela Cruz.
Okay.
So,
I don't know who that is, but
yep.
I didn't know who Joe or Steve was either. So
There you go.
Yeah.
And then the last
Well,
thing.
hey, good on that dude.
Yeah.
Good on that dude. The very last thing I have is they're making a live action Cowboy Bebop with John Cho as Spike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
Yeah, they cast
So-
a few other people too. I didn't see.
Yeah.
And one other little casting thing, real quick. And I just brain farted on the actor's name, but they just announced a little while ago the guy who played Rick Flag in the last Suicide Squad movie is coming
Yes.
back for the next one to play Rick Flag again.
Oh, wait,
Nice.
Okay, cool.
So there are a few people coming back from the last Suicide Squad movie that are
Yeah.
reprising their roles,
Okay.
but it is still technically a soft reboot.
Okay. Okay.
So-
Well, we'll see how that all plays out.
So we get
And-
like Margot Robbie, we get
Right.
him, we get I think the guy that played Boomerang is coming back too.
Okay, but we know Will Smith's not coming back.
Yeah, Will Smith's not.
Right, so, yeah.
I think it's just kind of a soft reboot, like
Yeah.
scheduling conflicts and stuff. We're like, we
Sure.
just recast some people, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, well, fair
hopefully,
enough.
hopefully it's a good movie.
you
Hopefully
go.
these are all good movies.
Yeah,
Hopefully-
right?
I mean, James Gunn's going to do Suicide Squad and The Last Guardians. I'm happy about both of those.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, that is all we have for this episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Well, everybody, you have a wonderful weekend. Go see Shazam.
Go see Shazam.
Go
buy-
see Shazam.
Yeah.
And buy your tickets to Endgame. Just please don't spend more than $20.
Yeah. Don't spend more than
save
you
your
would.
or spend your savings
There you go.
on Endgame tickets. You can go watch it the next night.
Yeah, it's not going to kill you if you have to wait
Yeah,
24
yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally, if you do take the day off the next day, go watch the matinee if it's that big of a deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
You know, I might just do that.
So, see, there you go.
it's an option.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, we hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see
right.
you all next time.
Shazam!